Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Judge Pherenn, adjudicating this case. Tonight we have Miss Desert Rose, Pirate Chrissy, who are going to be arguing against or for their particular positions. I believe everybody has read the rules that are posted onto the website for tonight's altercation between the two of you. May the best woman win.
Good idea.
Miss Desert Rose, are the plaintiffs ready to proceed?
Yep.
Miss Pirate Chrissy, are the defendants ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
Miss Desert Rose, your opening argument to the jury, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for being here tonight.
Mr. J.
Gotta bear with me. I haven't done this in a while. We're here tonight. My plaintiff is from the county. We are suing the plaintiff, Mrs. Masterpiece, because of the environment. I will show you tonight several pieces that will make you cry. Because of what happened to the environment, what they're doing to the environment, it has hurt several families, and we have proof of what they've been doing, and that's why my client is suing them. Thank you.
Ms. Desert Rose, just for clarification, that Mr. Indy Jones represents the county of Meta, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Pirate Chrissy, please make your opening argument to the jury.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am here tonight representing Meta Energy Company, which the CEO of Meta Energy is my client, Mixed Masterpiece. Meta Energy does not deny that there have been some impacts to the environment due to the business. However, Meta Energy provides a very important resource to the community, and that is power. And power is literally integral to every facet of our lives. Your lights, your electronics, everything that we do revolves around having access to energy. Meta Energy donates to many Meta community resources, including cancer research funds, unhoused community shelters. They also provide over 350 local jobs to the community. If Meta Energy were to lose this lawsuit, they may have to close and those jobs would be lost, highly increasing the unemployment rate in Meta County, which is not something that Meta Energy wants to see happen. Meta Energy has passed all of their EPA assessments over the past 5 years that they've been open. They also have extensively trained their employees in all of the EPA policies and procedures, and they dispose of all waste in the proper way that the EPA advises. So we will show today that Meta Energy is complying with all regulations, and there's no reason for them to pay out in this lawsuit. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chrissy. Ms. Desert Rose, please identify your witnesses.
My first witness is, well, I have 3 witnesses, Your Honor. I have Indy Jones from the county. I have a father, Jake, and I have a mother, well, a husband, Jake, and a mother, Miss Lovely.
And what is Mr. Jake and Ms. Lovely going to be testifying to? Just as a quick synopsis.
They're going to be testifying that the loss of their loved ones due to the environment, what happened.
And what evidence would you like to bring into the court?
If I can remember correctly of the rules.
You're able to bring in 3 pieces of documentary evidence. Of course, video viewer is not working this evening.
But you also said that we couldn't bring in police reports and things like that, right?
You certainly can if you have a witness who's going to testify to it.
Yeah, but we don't have them. Okay. But I can bring in like the lab reports and things like that?
If you have an expert to testify to it, which I presume Mr. Indy Jones is the CEO. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. I don't know who your expert is, ma'am, but if you have an expert, absolutely.
Well, he's a county expert, so.
And then it sounds like his reports would come in, ma'am.
Okay. So I've got the reports that's made by Indy. Can't even speak tonight. Sorry. We're going to send that to your iPad and things. It shows
Okay.
where the lab work. Sorry.
Okay. Lab test, ma'am.
Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this.
I understand.
The lab work, it shows the levels and everything. That's all I've got for the
Very good.
evidence.
Miss Chrissy, your
Yes,
witnesses
Your Honor.
and your exhibit list, ma'am.
For my evidence, I have the EPA policies and the assessments that have been assessed for Meta Energy for the past 5 years.
You
I have the
somebody testify
receipts.
to that, ma'am?
I do. I'll do
Okay,
my
go ahead.
witnesses right
That's fine.
after.
Go ahead.
I also have the receipts for donations to various charities that Meta Energy has donated to. And I also have the company handbook with the training program and the policies.
Very good.
And as
And
my
your witnesses, ma'am?
witnesses, I have the CEO of Meta Energy who will testify to the handbook and the policies. I have Mr. Roller Gracie, who is the EPA assessor, who's come out and done the assessments
Ah.
on Meta Energy. And I also have
That's already
Crowline,
started.
who is the director
Hmm.
of the Meta Cancer Research Center, to testify to the donations.
Thank you very much. Ms. Desert Rose, please proceed. Call your first witness.
All right. I want to call Indy.
Mr. Jones, please take the stand. And do I have a bailiff?
Yeah.
Mr.
1,
Frostclips,
2
thank you.
jobs.
Thank you.
I'm Mr. Indy. Can you please put your right hand on the book and put your left hand up in the air? I do swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, and all about the truth.
I do.
Ms.
Where are
Rose,
you
before you
swearing?
proceed, one moment. Mr. Frostclips, please be aware I use my stenographer in virtually every court hearing, so please pay close attention to what's being said. Thank you very much. Ms. Rose, please begin.
What? Mr. Jones, can you please tell us about the procedures and stuff? What came to this?
Yes, the county had been brought aware that there was an increased level of illness, cancer cases coming up within the county. So we proceeded to run multiple tests for carcinogens within the soil level and the ground level, which around the facility that is Meta Energy, to try to pinpoint the source of the contaminant. And that's when we concluded that the output of waste from the Meta Energy was the source of these carcinogens that were causing such illness within the county of Meta.
When you looked into these cases, can you please tell us the total of the
Were fatal cases.
and out of the 25%, how many of that 25% was it caused from cancer and other malignancies? I don't know the word for it, but
We had concluded that it was about 15% of all cases.
okay. All right, thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Indy Jones, are you testifying as an expert for the county? Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you very much. Ms. Chrissy Cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Jones, can you tell me exactly what your job is for the county, like what your title is?
Yeah, so I work for the county water department. I monitor the water conditions for all the groundwater, the wells, and the water distribution plant.
Okay, so you're not an expert in cancer research or statistics or anything like that?
Objection, Your Honor.
And the objection is, ma'am?
Even though he's not, you don't have to be a doctor to do lab work on the water and stuff.
Overruled. Please continue, Ms. Chrissy.
Are you an expert in statistics or cancer research?
No, I am not.
Okay, I have no further
You got about
questions, Your Honor.
27 people in
Thank you. Mr. Indy Jones, you may sit down. Thank you.
Just about packed.
Ms. Rose, please call your next witness.
I'd like to call Miss Lovely to the stand.
Ms. Frostlips, please administer the oath.
Thank you. Alright. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and all about the truth in this courtroom today?
Absolutely.
Alright, Your Honor, she's sworn in.
Miss Lovely, was your family one of the ones that was hit by the fatal
Yes, it was.
incident? Would you please tell us your story?
Excuse me, Miss
My
Rose. Miss Monique, if you'd be so kind as to wait until Miss Rose finishes her questions before you answer. My stenographer needs to take down everything said word for word. Thank you very much. Please continue, Miss Rose.
Thank you. Would you please tell us your story?
Well, my daughter has
We can't.
cancer.
I can't hear you.
Hmm?
Hold on.
Miss Monique, would you mind speaking up, please?
Hello?
No, you're fine. That's her.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yes.
Desert has
We
background
hear you.
noise, so she just.
Now I can.
So, because of the situation that happened, my daughter has cancer and she also has tumors upon the
Turn it down
brain
just a bit.
because of the results of the environment.
And how long has she had this before she
Well,
passed?
Well, she's been suffering from, cancer and all of that for about, 4 years.
Did she have any tests done to show what had caused it?
Yes. Yes, she has.
Objection, Your Honor.
And the objection is, ma'am?
Any tests on specific people were not entered into evidence.
Your response, Miss Rose?
Shouldn't have to be.
Why
Well,
not,
they
ma'am?
should if the court wants to consider it.
Shouldn't have to be. I mean, this is a minor.
Let's do this. While I agree in theory with
And
with
she's
your
already passed
objection, Miss
away.
Christie,
So
that's understandable. So, Miss Rose, rather than talking about individual specifics regarding tests, let's just stick to the testimony itself from Miss Monique.
well, Your
So what
Honor,
she's
this
testifying
is this is to prove that this actually was caused from this environment.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
she's
reason I
not an
asked the
expert to
question.
say about that information, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well, she's the mother.
That's true. Sustained. Please continue your questioning, Miss Rose.
No further questions, Miss Lovely.
Thank you, Miss Rose. And Miss Lovely, if you'd remain seated, please. You're still under oath. Miss Christie, Cross.
I don't have any questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Thank you. Miss Monique, you may sit down. Thank you so much for your time. And the court's sorry for your loss. Miss Rose, your next witness.
My last witness is Jake.
Mr. Jake, please take the witness stand. Mr. Frostclips, please swear him in. Thank you.
Alright, can you put your right hand on the book and put your left hand up in the air? Thank you, Mr. D. Okay, do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and all about the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Mr.
Your Honor,
Clips.
Mr. Jake has been sworn in.
Your witness, Miss Rose.
Mr. Jake, you also was a victim of this too.
Miss Rose, please don't
Yes.
lead the witness.
I'm not
Ask your
leading
questions.
him. He is a victim of the.
We haven't established that yet, Miss Rose.
Okay. Mr. Jake, can you tell us your story?
Yes, my wife was an employee of the facility where the environment contamination apparently stemmed from. So I was told from the tests that were given that they were responsible.
Objection, Your Honor. Again, those test results haven't been entered, and that's hearsay.
It
I
certainly
don't
is.
think he's talking about them tests. I think he's talking about something else at the work.
It's
I'll give
still
you a-
hearsay if it hasn't been entered.
I'll give you a little bit of leeway, Miss Rose. Please ask your question.
The question I asked him was to tell his story, Your Honor, and he's telling his story.
Mr. Jake, please continue.
Yeah, as I say, my wife was an employee of the facility, and several years ago, she became sick. And at the same time, we discovered that she was pregnant with twins, and with tests and health, it was discovered that she had Hodgkin's lymphoma, Your Honor, and we couldn't understand how the test, because it wasn't related to any family uh, history or anything like that. And since she passed away 3 years ago, along with my twin children, and we discovered through tests made by the county that they reckon that the tests were connected.
Objection, Your Honor. It's again,
Sustained.
and I apologize.
Jake?
It's speculation.
Mr. Jake, anything
Uh, Your Honor, I was just by the county and said that they reckon that my wife's death was connected to the tests that they were making, and wanted our input
I understand.
in connection to it.
Bear with me for a minute, Mr. Jake. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, due to the obviously emotional aspects of Mr. Jake, the jury is hereby instructed to disregard all questions and all answers pertaining to any of the testing except as related to the expert witness for Mr. Indy Jones.
That's not fair.
Miss Jake, Miss Rose, I apologize. However, it is hearsay. Please continue,
That's not
Mr.
fair.
Jake. I understand.
No. You're taking both of my witnesses away from me.
Not at all, ma'am. I'm allowing your witnesses to say every part of their story. Please continue, Mr. Jake.
I'm done. No further questions.
I understand. Mr. Jake, were
That's
you
not
done though?
fair.
I'm done, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Cross, Miss Chrissy?
No, Your Honor. I don't have any questions for this witness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jake. You may be seated.
No, it's live. It's still live. I'm gonna end it.
Miss Chrissy, call your first witness.
I'd like to call Crowline, who is the director of the Meta Cancer Research Facility.
Case. We did not find any pollutants in the water that we could pinpoint to the energy company, but there are many things in the water, of course.
I'm just wondering how you can separate the energy from Roundup.
Objection,
and all
Your
this
Honor.
stuff.
Asked and answered. She already
No,
answered that.
this has not been asked and answered, because the difference
Miss
between
Rose,
energy.
ask your question, please.
I'm trying to ask my question. The difference between energy pollution and Roundup pollution is two different things.
Yes. So, as you stated, it is two
You
different
have
things.
to spray. You have to spray Roundup pollution on the ground and stuff. Ground absorbs that. Energy pollution is a totally different thing.
Mhm.
That goes into the water and stuff like that. Roundup doesn't.
Your Honor, was there a question
is
that
your
she needed
question?
answered, or?
My question is, how did you come to get Roundup into the water? Test for the Roundup in the water.
So actually, Roundup can be found in just about every water source in the United States because as it rains, it soaks into the ground. Everything has
okay,
a different
well,
signature.
one
and
more-
we did
one
not
more
find
question.
Miss
a-
Rose, please allow her to continue. You asked a question.
Okay,
She's answered.
she can. I don't know. She can answer this one. She finished answering her question, but I just want to tell you I had one last question after that.
I understand.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Miss
interrupt you.
Coleman, were you done with your answer?
No, I was just going to say that everything has its own signature, and we did not find a signature that would come from there. from the
So
energy
when you did your-
company.
So when you did your testing, did you do it before rainfall or after rainfall?
So it's every 3 months, so it varies. But we've been doing it for 5 years since they've been open. So I'm sure it's all over the board.
Okay, I got my answer. No further questions.
Thank you. Ms. Caroline, you may be seated. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking your time out to the court today. And Ms. Christie, please call your next witness.
I'd like to call Roller Gracie, who's the EPA assessor.
Mr. Rolla Gracie, please come up.
Okay, Mr. Ruler. Okay. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth and all about the truth in this courtroom today?
I do.
All right, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Clips. Ms. Christie, your witness.
Hi, Mr. Gracie. Thank you for being here today. Can you tell the court what your job is at the EPA?
Yes, I am a EPA assessor. So I assess how the energy is disposed of
Go get me
and
my sugar
properly
tester.
done
I'm
with
not
waste removal.
Thank you. And can you tell me how many assessments you've done on Meta Energy?
So we've been doing it for the past 5 years, and it's done quarterly. So that would be 20 assessments.
And has Meta Energy failed any of those assessments?
No, ma'am. They've been
And can you
exemplary.
tell me, oh, thank you. Can you tell me how the energy waste is disposed of?
All right, the energy waste is properly disposed of because it is trucked off-site to another EPA waste center, and that is run by another center, another company that is not associated with Meta Energy. So at that point, it is another entity.
And is Meta Energy responsible for that waste after it's dropped off at that site?
No, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Roller.
Ms. Rose, cross.
Mr. Roller,
Yes, ma'am.
when this waste is dropped off at that other center, does the people that drop it off, do they stay there to make sure that it's disposed of, or do they just drop it off and leave?
It is not. It is under another entity's control at that point. So it is not under
I know.
Meta Energy's control.
Right. But do they stay there and make sure that it's disposed of, or do they leave?
They leave. It's not part of their responsibility at that
So,
time.
so they don't know for sure that this other company disposes of it, or they just dump it, because it's still, according to the law, it is still your guys' control until it's actually dumped legally.
I'm not certain about that, but we leave it for the other company. It's their contractual obligation at that time.
Excuse me, Mr. Rose, Mr. Gracie, question for the court. Are you an employee of the EPA or an employee of Meta Energy?
I am of the EPA.
Thank you. Ms. Rose, please continue.
Okay. Well, then how do you know for sure that they're legally getting rid of it, or if they're just dumping it? That's what I'm wanting to know.
I haven't looked into the other company. I'm specifically targeted with handling Meta Energy.
I had no further questions. I got my answer.
You did. Thank you very much, Ms. Gracie.
Your
Mr.
Honor,
Gracie, and thank you, Mr. Rose.
Mr. Andy
And
has
yes.
left, so I've just invited him back to the courtroom.
Thank you very much for letting me know that. Ms. Gracie, is that the last of your witnesses?
No, I'd also like to call my client, the CEO of Meta Energy.
Ms. Masterpiece, please take the stand.
All right. All right. Can you put your right hand on the book and put your left hand up in the air?
Okay. My right or your right?
Doesn't matter. Just say that one. All right. Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth at all? The truth.
Sir.
Your Honor.
Yes or no question. If it's
Your Honor.
sure.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt, but Indy just messaged me and said that it crashed on him.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
we'll wait
just
for a
invited
minute.
him
That's
back.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
Ms. Gracie,
I'll
please
invite him again.
begin your questioning.
Thank you, Your Honor. Hi, Miss Masterpiece. Thank you for being here today. Can you tell the court what your job is at Meta Energy?
I am the CEO, so I'm responsible for overseeing that everything runs smoothly, and making sure that any incidents are noted and documented.
All right. And are the employees of Meta Energy trained in the proper EPA policies?
Absolutely. We have quarterly, annually, and just we keep updated documents on trainings. That's a necessity. So everyone, even if we have a new employee, they are first initially trained upon being hired. So there's no
Okay.
way they can fall through the cracks. Yeah.
And has Meta Energy ever failed an EPA assessment or have had any
No.
fines levied against them?
No, there has been none.
Okay. Thank you. No, nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Rose, please approach.
Hello. You said
Hi.
your employees are trained really well.
I said our employees are trained on a basis of what is the guideline, and we even go above and beyond that as far as giving
Okay.
like extra incentives and things like that
Well,
for training. Hmm.
the reason I asked because the previous witness said that he wasn't. Your employees don't stay there to watch when they drop off your chemicals. So if they're
Well,
trained, they would
I
have
don't.
they would have
I
to make
didn't
sure.
hear that. I didn't hear that, but
Well, it's
yeah.
the stenographer can tell you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and after they do that, like our employees, they are trained on what they're trained on. That's turned over to
Well,
a different group.
well, if you train them, they're supposed to stay there and to make sure that's legally dumped.
Objection, Your
As a-
Honor.
And which I've not heard of
Excuse me,
any
Miss
employee
Masterpiece.
walking away.
Miss,
Yes.
if you'd be so kind, when you hear the words an objection, please be so kind as to pause for a moment so we can respond to the objection. Thank you. And your
Sure.
objection is, Miss Chrissy?
It's asked and answered. She's already said that that's handled by another company and that the employees are not trained in that other company's procedures.
Overruled, ma'am. She's
Well-
not stated. She doesn't know what happens.
But the thing is, that she
Please
said
continue, Ms.
her
Rose.
employees are
Rose?
trained.
Please continue your question.
I'm just explaining. She said that
I've
they.
overruled her objection. Please continue.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't hear, Your Honor. So you said you don't know, so you really don't know what your employees do then.
No, I didn't say that per se. I absolutely know what our employees do. We actually have a book and we have documents that say they have to sign in and out.
I'm gonna have to argue on that one, Your Honor.
And what argument are you looking to do at
She
this
said
point,
that
ma'am?
she didn't know what her employees
Ms.
did.
Rose, you're able to discuss that with the jury. Right now, your question.